Beinn Eighe National Nature Reserve. It's about 80 kilometres west of Inverness in Wester Ross in the Highlands of Scotland. And we're visiting the first National Nature Reserve that was established in Scotland. The reserve was established in November 1951, and the world was a very different place, and conservationists had little understanding how to manage land for nature conservation. And we'll see later some of the resources that they acquired here, which is primarily pine wood but also a mountain. Back at the end of the Second World War, a group of eminent scientists got together and decided it was about time that Britain had some areas protected for nature conservation. One of the first places they had their eyes on was this area of woodland in Lochmarie and the shores of Lochmarie in Wester Ross. It's called Coil na Glas Lichter in Gaelic, which is wood on the grey slopes. And in 1950 a chance came to buy this pine woodland. Only 250 hectares of woodland existed, and that was all that the conservationists wanted. But the lady selling it decided to sell the whole mountain, and so the Nature Conservancy obtained 48 square kilometres for £4,000. With the purchase of the reserve in 1951, the scientists' main task was to identify how to manage this small area of woodland. And their key objectives were scientific. They were research and understanding for nature conservation. But the one thing they weren't expecting was that this place would become a popular destination for visitors. We're standing here on the mountain trail, which is a 7-kilometre trail that takes people up to about just under 600 metres up that steep face there. And yes, there is a path up there. And this was one of the very first places in Scotland that had nature trails. Amongst a group of what are effectively the toddlers of the pinewood world in Beinn Eighe. These trees, baby trees, were planted 5 or 6 years ago, and they're part of a long tradition of trying to re-establish woodland on Beinn Eighe. I said earlier that when Beinn Eighe was bought, originally the scientists were only interested in the pinewood, which was about 250 hectares of the area, but ended up buying the whole mountain. The lady who sold it said that she couldn't separate the mountain from the forest because the forest was an integral part of the deer management requirements. And that relationship between forest and deer has been something which has impacted on the management of Beinn Eighe for the last 50 years. Initially, the Nature Conservancy recognised they didn't understand anything about forest establishment, so they asked the Forestry Commission to do it for them. And over the next 30-40 years, there were all sorts of different approaches taken to re-establishing woodland on the slopes of Beinn Eighe. And right up until the late 80s, there was a general assumption that the pines could come from anywhere really, and much of the pine seed came from other parts of Scotland. And it was in the late 80s that it was realised that the pines in Beinn Eighe were very, very different, that they seemed to have come from a population which survived the last ice age, and they were here long before pines anywhere else in Scotland. So at that stage it was recognised that we had to be more selective about the seed that we planted here. And at the same time, a colleague of mine, Tim Clifford, was instrumental in getting a major fencing project done here, which enclosed about 1,000 hectares of this hill slope, which was heavily degraded, overgrazed and overburned for many decades. And gradually the job of trying to get woodland re-established on this slope was begun. As you can see up in the gully there was a small stand of about 120 pine trees, some of them 250 years old, and certainly remnants of the old forest that would have been here. And seed was collected from those, and many of the trees here, probably the ones I'm standing here, have been grown from seed from that tiny remnant of the old Caledonian forest that exists up on the slope there. This will take a long time. 5 years to get to this height. Some of them, this one in the foreground, suffered from grazing damage. But it's a long-term project over many, many years to try and re-establish and to provide a buffer around the remnant of native pinewood that was the thing that was first identified by scientists 55 years ago as something of a national treasure for nature conservation.